Hello friends, how are you? In this video we'll discuss about defuzzification. So what is defuzzification? Fuzzy to crisp conversion is called defuzzification. So we have a fuzzy input. Now sometimes we need to convert into crisp output. In that case we have to apply defuzzification. So let temperature is high. This is the fuzzy set where 10, 15, 21, 30, 60, these are the generic variables. 0.1, 0.16, 0.21, 0.4, 0.9, these are what? These are the membership value. So the question is, what is the crisp value that implies for the high temperature? So is there any crisp value? Can we get any crisp value from this particular fuzzy set? Okay, so how you can get this one? So we just see one simple example. Say we have a two fuzzy rule. If x is capital X, then y is capital Y. Similarly, rule 2, if small x is capital W, then small y is capital Z. So here x, y, w, z, capital S, capital Y, capital W, capital Z, these are what? Fuzzy sets. Small x and small y, these are called the generic variables. So we can see here. So this is what our one fuzzy set. Okay, one fuzzy set is there. So this is what our membership value, these are the elements. Now question is, what is the crisp value of the fuzzy set? So can you get any crisp value from this particular fuzzy set? Okay, now we can see here. So if capital X, so small x is somewhere if x is capital X, then y is capital Y. If x is capital W, then y is capital Z. So can you get, so what is the crisp value that can be inferred when input is x dash? So if input is x dash, so this is what our input part, okay, antecedent part, this is what consequent part. So if it is x dash, so how we can get this one? So we can see there is a two cuts here, okay, and associated membership values are this one for capital X and this one for capital W, okay, and associated cuts are capital Y and capital Z respectively. And from this particular part we can identify some crisp value. So how we can get the crisp value, that we will discuss. Okay, now question is, why defuzzification? So the generated fuzzy results cannot be used in an applications where decision has to be taken only on crisp value. Okay, so the output always should be the crisp value. Okay, here if the output is fuzzy, we cannot apply this particular output in particular device or in electronic circuit or in mechanical device. In that case, we need the crisp value, a particular value to apply. Okay, now when to use the defuzzification or in which state? Now this is what our basic structure of the fuzzy system. So we can see here. So this is what crisp input for. So first of all, if the input is crisp, we have to apply fuzzification to get the fuzzy data. Okay, so input may be crisp, input are there, or fuzzy input. If the input is crisp, we have to apply fuzzification to get the fuzzy data. If the input data is already fuzzy data, then this fuzzification is not required. Next step is what? Fuzzy inference is there. So here we take the decision. So for fuzzy inference, we need fuzzy rule base. Okay, so already we know different rules are there. So like if x is capital X, then y is capital Y. Rule 2, if x is capital W, then y is capital Z. So these are the rules. Rule-based system contains all these rules, and with the help of rules and input data, fuzzy inference gets some conclusion. But these conclusions are the fuzzy conclusions, fuzzy output. So definitely we need defuzzification to get the crisp output. So after fuzzy inference, we have to apply defuzzification to get one simple exact output. So different defuzzification techniques are there: lambda cut method, weighted average method, maximum methods, and centroid methods. Now lambda cut method, or it is also called alpha cut method. Lambda cut method is applied to get Cripps value of a fuzzy set or relation. Now lambda cut method for fuzzy set and lambda cut method for fuzzy relation, we can apply it in these two parts. Now to get Cripps value, we can use like this way: a lambda is equal to x, the elements such that the membership values of x should be greater than or equal to lambda, and the value of lambda should be in between 0 to 1. So that is a lambda is x when the membership values corresponding to x is greater than or equal to the specified lambda. So we can see, suppose one A is a fuzzy set where x1, x2, x3, x4 are the element generic variables, 0.2, 0.4, 0.7, 0.9 are the respective membership values. So if it is A 0.8, so that means what? Lambda is equal to what? 0.8. So we have to identify the elements which are the elements which where the membership value is more than 0.8. So we can see here this one x4 its membership value is 0.9, which is more than 0.8. So x4 is the answer. Or you can write, we can represent like this way, or you can represent like this way. So x1, x2, x3, the membership value should be 0, and x4 the membership value should be 1. Okay, so this is what nothing but a Cripps output. Similarly, if a is 0.4, so if a 0.4, so or 0.4 means what? So here you can see it is greater than or equal to lambda. So we have to identify the membership values whose membership the values are more than 0.4 equal more than 0.4. So the answer will be what? x2, x3, x4. So x2, x3, x4. So we can represent like this way, or we can represent like this way: x1 0, x2 1, x3 1, x4 1. So this is nothing but our Cripps set. It is not a fuzzy set. Okay, so we can apply the union intersection complement too. So if fuzzy set A is there, so two fuzzy sets are there, A and B. So these are the elements and associated membership values are there. So if it is A 0.4, so that means what? The output will be what? Output will be x2, x3 and x4, because it is more than 0.4, more than 0.4, more than 0.4. And if B is equal to 0.65, so the output will be what? x3 and x4, that's more than 0.65, more than 0.65. So next example you can see, say A union B 0.7. So here lambda is equal to what? 0.7. So first of all we have to apply the union. So x1, you can see x1, so the maximum is what? So 0.4, x2 maximum is 0.6, x3 0.6, 0.7 maximum 0.7, x4 maximum is what? 0.8. Then we have to apply the alpha cut. Okay, Cripps value. So here alpha cut or lambda cut will be what? The values which are more than 0.7. So you can say more than or equal to 0.7. So answer will be what? x3 and x4. So you can see x1 0, x2 0. That means what? Membership values are 0, and x3 x4 the membership values are 1 here. So in that case membership values are in between 0 to 1. Now here the values are 0 and 0 or 1. So that's why this is what our Cripps value. Cripps set, this is what our fuzzy set. So in this way you can convert fuzzy set to Cripps set. Next is lambda cut for a fuzzy relation. So there is one fuzzy relation. So if you write r.2, that means lambda is equal to 0.2. So identify the elements, identify the entries whose value is more than is equal to 0.2. So here the output will be what? 0.3, 0.8, 0.7. Okay, so all are more than 0.2. So all are more than 0.2 except this entry and this entry. So here that should be 0, and here is 0.5, here it should be the 1. Okay, similarly identify the elements, identify the entries whose values are more than 0.5. So definitely more than 0.5, no, that's why 0. More than 0.5, yes, 1. More than 0.5, yes, 1. More than 0.5, no, 0. More than 0.5, 1. More than 0.5, 0.5, no, 0. More than 0.5, no, 0. More than 0.5, yes, 1. More than equal to 0.5, yes. So here we have to definitely have to use more than equal to. Similarly, identify if the lambda value is 0.95. So identify those elements which are more than 0.95. So the answer will be what? This one. This is the entry whose value is more than 0.95. That means this particular part. Remaining should be the 0. Okay. So a few properties are there. You may check one by one. So if P and Q are the two fuzzy sets defined with the same universe of discourse, then P union Q lambda, whole lambda is nothing but P lambda union Q lambda. Similarly, P intersect Q whole lambda is equal to P lambda intersect Q lambda. So not P Q lambda is not equal to P complement lambda, except the value for lambda 0.5. Now for any lambda which is less than equal to alpha, where alpha varies between 0 and 1, it is true that P alpha should be subset of P lambda. Similarly, if R and S are two fuzzy relations, okay, set R and Q are the fuzzy relations defined with the same fuzzy sets over the same universe of discourse, then R union S whole lambda is equal to R lambda and S lambda. So all are the fuzzy relations. Similarly, R intersect S lambda is equal to R lambda intersect S lambda. Okay, but R complement lambda is not equal to R complement lambda. Okay, so here we have to apply the complement first, then lambda. Okay, here we first apply lambda, then we apply complement. But say both are not same thing. Similarly, for lambda whose values are less than equal to lambda alpha, where the alpha varies from 0 to 1, then R alpha should be the subset of R lambda. Next, output of a fuzzy system. The output of a fuzzy system can be single fuzzy set or union of two or more fuzzy sets. So we can see here, say a number of rules are there. If x is capital A1, then y is B1. If x is A2, then y is B2. Like this way, if x is An, then y is Bn. So for the given input x, the output is the union of all the output. So we can see here that P all are the fuzzy sets. All are fuzzy sets here. Okay. So A1, A2 to An, B1, B2 to Bn, all are fuzzy sets. X and y are the generic variable. So the output will be what? Output will be union of all the output. Union of all the rules. Output of the rules. We can see one example. So R1, if x is P, then y is G1. Rule number 1. So where P and G are the fuzzy set. If x is Q, then y is G2. So where Q and G2 are the fuzzy sets. Then the output fuzzy set will be G1 union G2. Okay, all should be fuzzy. Okay, so we have to accommodate all the output to get the final output. Okay, now here two rules are there, R1 and R2. So if x is P, then y is B1. If x is Q, then y is B2. So here P, Q, B1, B2 all are the fuzzy sets. So this is the antecedent part, this is the consequent part. So if x is P, then y is B1. If x is Q, then y is B2. So here if input is x1, okay, here the input is, if the position of the input is somewhere here, and if the input is somewhere here. Now here three cases are there. We can see three cases are there. So in case 1, it intersect with only P graph, P set. Here in case 2, it intersect both P and Q, and in third case the input is intersect with the fuzzy set Q only. So in case 1, if intersect with x1 input is intersect with only P, then the associated B1 will be, output will be this one. Okay, so this will be this particular part is the fuzzy output. Similarly, if intersect both P and Q, so if x1 intersect with P1, so we need to consider only this particular part, and x1 intersect with Q, we should consider only this particular part. So this is nothing but our fuzzy set. Okay, this is the output. So here we need to consider the output will be combination of both, union of both B1 and P2. Third is what? If x1 is intersect with only Q, then we have to consider only the B2 part. So this is what our fuzzy set. Output, fuzzy output. Definitely we have to consider, so this is what fuzzy output, we need one Cripps output. Here also this is the fuzzy output, we need one Cripps output, and here it is a fuzzy output, we need one Cripps output. Now defuzzification method. So three basic methods are the maximum method, centroid method, and weighted average method. So in maximum method, four basic methods are there. Height method, first of maximum method, last of maximum method and mean of maximum method. Okay, so first one is what height method. So maximum membership principle used to get the Cripps value. So we have to identify the x whose values is greater which is the maximum. Okay, so we can see here the output of that. So this is what our fuzzy output, and the maximum membership value is here if it is somewhere here. So this x1 is the output, this one is the output. Okay, if it is a fuzzy set, so maximum membership value is if it is in x1 x dash. So this is nothing but our fuzzy output. So here x dash is the output where MCU is the highest, where membership value is highest. Now note that this method is used when the maximum UC's value is unique. So this is what our fuzzy set, fuzzy output is there. So the maximum x1, x1, x2, x3, three values are there. So it is not unique. So since it is not unique, so here we cannot apply the height method. Okay, so we can apply height method if it is, if the output, if the maximum membership value is single one. So this is what maximum output, maximum membership value is if the value of x is 50. So if it is a fuzzy output, the associated Cripps value will be what? 50, when the membership value is maximum. Next we can see first of maxima, that is FOM. So here this is what our fuzzy set. So fuzzy output, okay, and so first time when it is maximum. So you can, this is the part when the fuzzy value is maximum. So this particular range. So when first time when it is maximum, this x1 is the Cripps value of this particular fuzzy output. Okay. Now last of maxima. So we can see here. So here this is what our fuzzy output, and it will be Cripps value will be x dash if it is when it is the last, it is a maximum. This is the maximum, this particular part is the maximum part. Now so the x dash is maximum when it is the last, or the last maximum point is the associated Cripps value. Now we can see the if the graph is this one, if the fuzzy output is this one, so in between 35 to 50, that fuzzy output is maximum. So if you apply the first of maximum method, then for this particular fuzzy output, the Cripps output will be 35. Okay, and if you apply the last of maximum method, for this particular fuzzy output, the Cripps value will be 50. Okay, now next is what? MOM, that is mean of maximum or middle of maximum. So in that case, what we can do, we just take the average value of the first of maxima as well as the last of maximum. So x1 dash is the first of maxima, x2 dash is the last of maxima. So x dash will be what? x1 dash plus x2 dash divided by 2. So if you see, if you have used this particular fuzzy set, fuzzy output, then the x1 is the x1 dash is 35 and x2 dash is what? 50. So 35 and 50. So x dash will be what? Average of that, that is 42.5. So 42.5 is the Cripps value if we use the method mean of maxima. Okay. Next we can say centroid method. Now three basic methods are there: center of gravity method, center of sum method, and center of area method. So we will see one by one. So first one is what? Center of gravity method. A point x dash is identified where a vertical line slices the aggregate into the two equal parts. So we can say this is what our one fuzzy set, fuzzy output is there. So we have to identify this particular part when it divides into two equal parts. So this part is called the center of gravity method, and we need this particular, the value x dash. Okay, so in this case it divides into two equal parts. In this case also, this is the point x dash when it's divided into two equal parts. Okay, so to get the Cripps value x dash, we need to use this particular formula. So integration x into mu cx dx by integration of mu cx dx. So this is the area of the region bounded by the curve. So integration mu cx dx is the area of the region bounded by the curve, and in the numerator part we have to multiply with x. So if it is a continuous function is there, if it is a discrete, we can apply this particular formula. So x dash is equal to summation is equal to I to 1 to n xi mu c xi divided by summation of I is equal to 1 to n mc xi. So we can see example. So here this is what fuzzy output are there. So we divide into, so the one fuzzy output we divided into 5 parts. So part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. So here A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, these are what the area, and x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, these are the center of the gravity. So we can do what we can do. So summation of I is equal to 1 to n. Here n is equal to what? 5. N is what? Number of parts. So here the value of n is what? 5. So x1 into a1. Okay, so in this particular case, what we can write like this way. So x dash is equal to x1 a1. Okay, then a2 x2 dot 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 plus xn an divided by a1 plus a2 to an. So here a1 a2 to an, a1 a2 a3 to 5 is nothing but our area. So in this case a1 with x1 plus a2 into x2 plus a3 into x3 plus a4 into x4 plus a5 into x5 divided by a1 plus a2 plus a3 plus a4 plus a5. So the value will be x dash is nothing but the crisp value of this particular fuzzy output. Okay, so we can see one simple example. So in that case, this is what fuzzy output. We need to know the associated crisp value. So we have divided into three parts: a1, a2, and a3. Okay, so the membership value is characteristics of the membership value is maybe the given, or we have to identify. So in between 0 to 2, it is 0.5x. Okay, this particular part is nothing but 0.5x. In between 2 to 4, the membership value is 1. And in between 4 to 6, the membership value is minus 0.5x plus 3. Now we can, if it is given, then it's okay. If it is not given, then we can also identify from the graph. So it is what 0 point, this is what 2.20, this is 2.1 because it is 1. Okay, this is what 4.0, it is 4.1. Okay, and this is 6.0. So how to get this particular straight line, how to get this one? So we know the formula, y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus 1 divided by x2 minus x1 into x minus x1. So x1 is equal to 0, y1 is equal to 0, and x2 is equal to 2, y2 is equal to 1. Okay, so we can put y minus 0 because x1 y1 both are 0 0 and x2 y2 2 1. So y minus 0 is equal to y2 minus y1, that is 0 minus y2 minus y1, that means 1 minus 0, and x2 minus x1, that is 2 minus 0. So y minus 0, 1 by 2 x minus 0, that means y is equal to 0.5x. In this case, so definitely it is y is equal to 1. Okay, and in this case also we can identify the equation. So y minus, so this is what our x1 this is what our x1 y1, and this is what our x2 y2. So y minus 1, okay, because it is x y1, okay, and this is y2 minus y1, and this is x2 minus x1. x2 is what, 6 minus 4. Okay, so x minus, so this is what our x1. Okay, this is what our x1. So y is equal to, if you solve it, y is equal to minus 0.5x plus 2 plus 1, that is minus 0.5x plus 3. Okay, so here this is the numerator part. So x into mu cx. So what is x here? So x into mu cx. Mu cx is 0.5x. So x into 0.5x, so 0.5x square dx. And the area we can identify from 0 to 2. Similarly, it is 2 to 4. 2 to 4. It is x dx. It is 1 is there. So this mu cx is what? 1. X into 1, that is x dx. Similarly, mu cx is what? This one is the mu cx, 0.5x plus 3. So you have to multiply with x because the formula is what? X into mu cx. So x into 0.5x means what? Minus 0.5x square plus 3x. So here we multiply x with this particular value. Okay, so this one you can see. So x into mu cx. So x into mu cx is what? 0.5x. So that means 0.5x square dx. X into, because it is 1, mu cx is 1, x into 1. Okay, and x into mu cx, that is 1. So 0 minus 0.5x square plus 3x. And the region is what? 0 to 2, 2 to 4, and 4 to 6. 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6. And if you solve it, the value is what? 12. Okay, Now similarly mu cx is there, denominator part is what, 0 to 0.5x dx, and here it is only dx is there, okay, and mu cx, and this is what we can say 4 2x minus 0.5x plus 3, and if you solve it the output will be what, 4. So this is the numerator part, its output is what, 12, and this is the denominator part, its output is what, 4. So associated crisp value will be what, 12 by 3, that is 4. Okay, next we can see center of the sum method. Here we have to apply x dash is equal to I is equal to 1 to n xi ACI divided by summation I is equal to n ACI. So this is ACI is what, area of the region bounded by the fuzzy set Ci, and x1 is the geometric center of the area ACI. Now, so what is the difference between center of the sum method, what is the difference between center of the sum method and the center of the gravity method? Now note that in center of the gravity method the overlapping area is counted once, whereas in center of sum method the overlapping area is counted as many required. Here the center of area is calculated. Now if it is center of gravity method, so we have to count like this way, only this particular part. We have to consider only this part. Here we have to, the overlapping part we have to consider only once. But since it is a center of sum method, now this particular part we counted 2 times. This is the part we have to consider 2 times. Okay, this time, for this time as well as for this time. Okay, so A1, A2, A3, these are what, area of the region bounded by the bounded by the output. Okay, these are what, the output, and x1, x2, x3, these are what, the geometric center of the area. So x1 is the geometric center of A1, x2 is the geometric center of A2, and x3 is the geometric center of A3. Now you can see one example how to solve it. Now you can see the example of center of sum method. You can see here, this is what our fuzzy output, A1, A2, A3, 3 regions are there. So the maximum immersive value of A1 is what, mu C1, maximum value of A2 is what, mu C2, and maximum value of A3 is what, it is mu C3. So mu C1 is 0.5, mu C2 is 1, okay, and mu C3 is, it is 0.3. So A1 is what, it is trapezoid. So what is the area of the trapezoid? How to calculate this one? So this one is the trapezoid, so B1 length is this one, B2 is length is this one, and H1 is the height. So B1, B2 is length of the base, and H is the height. So what will be the area? So area will be what, 1 by 2 into height into addition of the base. So we can 1 by 2, and 0.5 is the height, that is, so what is the, how to calculate the A1, area of the A1? So 1 by 2, it is a trapezoid, 1 by 2 into 0.5, 0.5 is the height, that is the immersive value, plus addition of this. So it is 0 to 4, it is what, 4, and it is, say it is 1, and here it is 3. So x value 3 minus 1, it is 2. So if you solve it, it is 0.5, and the middle value is what, it is 2. x1 is what, 2. Okay, you can see the middle value of this A1 is what, it is x1, that is 2. Similarly, if you, for A2, how to calculate the area of the A2? So it is what, 2 and 7. So it is what, 7 minus 2, it is 5, and you can see 6 and 3. So 6 minus 3, okay, you can see it is a 3 and it is 6. So 6, 3, x part. So 6 minus 3, it is 3. 1 by 2, and height is what? Height is what, it is 1. So if you solve it, the area is what, 4, and center of gravity, x2 is what, 4.5, somewhere here, it is the middle point. Okay, now A3 is what, it's a triangle. So 1 by 2 into base is what, 10 minus 6, it is 4, into the height is what, it is a immersive value 0.3. So 0.3, the area is what, 0.6, and the middle point is what, 8. So here x3 is the middle point, that is 8. So x3 is equal to 8. So how to get the crisp value? A1 x1 plus A2 x2 plus A3 x3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. So what is A1? A1 is what, 0.15 into 2 plus A2 into x2, 4 into x2, 4.5 plus A3 into x3, A3 is what, 0.6 into x3, x3 is what, 8. So if you solve it, we can get the value 4.86. This is a crisp value. Okay, so 4.86 somewhere here. So this is the crisp output of this particular fuzzy output. So the crisp value of C, that is C1 union C2 union C3 using center of some method is 4.86. Okay, assume say this is what our C1, this is what our C2, and this is what our C3. Okay, next we can say centroid method or center of largest area. If the fuzzy set has subregions, then the center of the gravity of the subregion with the largest area can be used to calculate the defuzzification value. So we can see x dash will be the mu cx, this is the membership value of the largest area, x1 is the center point of the largest area divided by the integration of the mu cx dx, that is the area. So where cx or cm is the region with largest area, x1 is the center of the gravity of the cm. So we can see here, so in this case c1, c2, c3 are there, largest area is what, c3. So you have to consider only this particular part. So here you have to consider, so x dash will be what, area of this. Okay, so this will be the say x1, so mu cm say x, this is nothing but the membership, maximum membership value of this particular c3. Okay, and with the x1 multiplied by x1 divided by the area of this particular region. Okay, so we can see the in our previous example, so a1, a2, a3 are there. So area of a1 is 0.15, area of a2 is 4, and area of a3 is 6.6. So largest area is what, a2, this is the largest area. So we have to apply the formula. So 4 into, that means what, area into 4.5 divided by 4.5. So the answer will be what, 4. 4 is the crisp value if you use centroid method. Okay, so in centroid method we have just identified the largest subregion, and we have to consider only this particular region to identify the Cripps value. Next is weighted average method or Sugino defuzzification. So the formula is very simple, x dash is equal to summation of I is equal to n mu c1 xi into xi divided by summation of I is equal to 1 to n mu ci xi, where c1, c2 to cn are the output fuzzy sets and xi is the value where middle of the fuzzy set ci is observed. Okay, so note that this method can be used only for symmetric output membership function. Okay, now we can see the weighted average method or Sugino defuzzification. So c1, c2, c3, three fuzzies, three regions are there. So and all are symmetric. Okay, all are symmetric. That means we can divide equal into equal to part. If it is like this way, if it is like this way, okay, and this one, then we cannot apply the Sugino defuzzification because it is not symmetric. In that case, we cannot apply Sugino defuzzification or weighted average method. We can only apply a weighted average method if it is a symmetric. So for this one, c1 mu c1 x1 into x1, this is a x1 is the middle point. Similarly, mu c2 x2, that means when x2 in the x2 when it is in x2, the maximum weighted average maximum membership value. Similarly, mu x3, this particular part when it is maximum. Okay, and it divides into two equal part divided by the membership addition of the membership value. So here it is, we can say it is 1 into area is what. So here you can see membership value of c1 is what, 1, and when x1 is the center point, that is x1 is equal to 2 when it is center point. Mu c2 extra, its a membership value is what, it is 1, maximum 1, and x2 when it is symmetric, x2 is equal to 6, and for this c3 the maximum membership value is 0.5 when it is x3, and it divides into two equal part. So we just multiply 1 into 2. Okay, 1 into 2 plus 1 into 6 plus 0.5 into 10.5 divided by the addition of the membership value, 1 plus 1 plus 0.5. So if you solve it, you can get the value 5.3, which is a Cripps value. So if it is a fuzzy output, associated Cripps value will be this one. Now we can see some example of defuzzification. The width of a road as narrow and wide is defined by two fuzzy sets whose membership functions are as shown below. So we can see this is what narrow part and which is a wide part. So assume it is a meter. If it is a meter 1, it definitely narrow. If it is 2, it is also narrow. If it is 4, somewhere here 4, so that means what, it is 50-50. If it is the width is 5 meter, that means what, it is not narrow, it is wide, but the membership function will be near about 0.85. But if it is more than 6, 7, 8, that means it is definitely it is wide. So if a road with its degree of membership value is 0.35, so if it is 0.35, then what will be its width? So what will be its width? To get the width, we have to identify the area of this. Okay, so 0.35 is what? This one. If the road with its max degree of membership value is 0.35, this is what our degree of membership value. So we should know associated area from this narrow and wide fuzzy output. So we have to calculate the area of this, and that crisp value indicate the width of the road. We can see another example. So the faulty measure of a circuit is defined fuzzily by three fuzzy sets, namely faulty, fault tolerance, and robust. Faulty, fault tolerance, and robust. So defined by three membership function with number of faults occur as universe of discourse and is shown below. So if the reliability is fault union fault tolerance union robust, so with a certain observation in testing, that particular value x is 0.3 for R, 0.5 for fault tolerance, and 0.9 for fault. So calculate the reliability measure in Cripps value. So what we have to do? So if it is in this particular reliable fuzzy set, the value is 0.3, only this particular part. Okay. So inside that particular value x, 0.5, it is fault tolerant, and inside this faulty, the position of this x is what? 0.9, somewhere here. So we have to identify the Cripps value from this particular fuzzy set. So calculate the reliability measure in Cripps value. So we may use center of any method, center of sum method, or center of gravity method, or maximum method, and so on. Okay, and that value indicates what is the reliability in Cripps value. Okay. So that is the end of this particular video. Thank you very much.